Welcome to MetalGodsTV with Mick'The Beard.
Hi, here with Mick'The Beard from MetalGodsTV, and I am with Trevor from Black Dahlia Murder.
Yo, yo!
I interviewed Black Dahlia Murder in 2008 at Download. There's been a hell of a lot happened since then. Probably lineup changes and all sorts, haven't there?
Albums have come out. We got drunk a few times in there. We played a bazillion shows. But that was a good one. It was good to come back to Download. The first time we ever came to the UK, we played Download, and it was kind of like one of those obscure stages, like miles away, you know what I mean? And it was definitely a lot cooler to come back after having built up something of a reputation, you know. So, but yeah, we've been busy, definitely.
And do you think you're at where you'd like to be? Sort of, I mean, you're talking 4 years hence. Do you think you're going on to the right direction?
Yeah, man. I mean, as long as we can keep doing this, then I'm happy to be. You know, that's all I want to do is be able to keep touring. And, you know, in my mind, the dream has already been achieved. You know, now it's kind of like perpetuating it. I mean, our biggest goal is to survive through some generations, you know, of change. And that's going to be the big deciding factor, I think, is when, you know, bands like Napalm Death and Cannibal Corpse have survived the coming and going of metal's popularity in the States, you know what I mean? And it sort of follows the same trends, I think, over here too. But in metal, or in the States, they're a little bit more fickle, I think. So, yeah. But yeah, that's our goal, man, just to keep doing this, you know. So I'm really happy with how things are going. I mean, Ritual's doing really well. We celebrated the 10th anniversary of the band, you know, which is pretty exciting, especially for Brian and I being the original members. And Ritual's like, I don't know, man, it's exactly where we want it to be. It's doing very well, getting good reviews. You know, keeping fans coming out, keeping old fans pleased, reaching some new fans. So we're happy guys right now, definitely.
Yeah. You get a really good backing from Metal Blade, it seems. Yeah,
I mean, they've always been there. Like, it just wouldn't have played out the same way with any other label or any other circumstances, I don't think. It's like we needed them, and they needed us at the time, too. They were kind of starved for some fresh new bands, you know, and they got Unearth and us and the Azalea Dying and a few others at the same time, and you know, we were all younger bands and stuff, and that kind of like spelled the whole new generation of what was to come for Metal Blade. And yeah, we sent materials out to like 30 labels and got rejection letters from 29 of them before we got the call from Metal Blade. So it seemed like a joke at first, you know. I remember thinking, man, this is really cruel, but it was real, thank God. And I got to quit school, which has been the greatest thing ever, because I didn't really know where I was going to do, like, in the adult world at all. I didn't see where I was going to fit in. So, you know, here I am, 30 years old, haven't learned a damn thing in 15 years. But man, it's been really fun. And so, you know, we're just always looking toward the future, you know, the next record, and now we got to top Ritual, you know, which is going to be a challenge for us, because that one we took more time to write it, put a little more elbow grease into it, and we just kind of took it to the next level as far as like thematically, you know, visually, and it takes a lot more time to do all that kind of stuff. So it's always a race against time for us, you know. If you're on tour 8 months of the year, then how are you going to make albums and record too, you know? It's a catch-22, you know.
And do you think the audience has changed over the years? I mean, when you guys first started up, it was sort of fairly new type of music. I mean, do you think you've won over the old metalheads?
I think so. I think it depends. I think that there are some fans that have stuck around since then, and I do think there has been some turnover too, like some young kids coming into it, you know what I mean, that maybe just heard the last record or this new one, or, you know. And I think that we have won over some of the long-haired metal types that, you know, may have been put off by us being alongside like Killswitch Engage in magazines and stuff like that, and having short hair, and, you know, just other things that can kind of put them off or whatever, you know. It's been that's been one of the uphill battles, I think, is kind of but with every record, I think we take more steps towards you know, winning the classic type metaler over, you know. And this one is the most in touch with classic death metal, I think, out of anything that we've done. So you know, it's an ongoing struggle, but it's been cool though, you know. I think just being called so many different kinds of genres and not really being easy to pigeonhole for people has just led us to be all different kinds of fan bases, you know what I mean? Like metalcore kids, deathcore, hardcore, punk, death metal, anything in between. You know, we've played with all kinds of bands. We've been called all kinds of genres, you know, and I used to, you know, be bitter about it, but I think in the end it's really helped us kind of, I don't know, just have a life beyond just what you can do in death metal, you know what I mean? But like have like, just, you know, good crowds still in spite of like these times right now where a lot of our bands like that we grew up alongside have kind of fallen off, you know, and haven't had the same kind of luck that we've had. You know, I think it's just been a lot of luck, a lot of making the right decisions, and, you know, just trying to realize the you know, that these opportunities, you know, we can go so many different ways, and I think we've reached a lot of different fans by kind of embracing the different, you know, that we can, you know, be flexible like that. Play with Throwdown, you know, one tour and turn around and, you know, we have a tour with Nile coming up, you know. Yeah. So it's like, it's cool that we can do that, and it works, you know, it seems to work both ways. So, I mean, the whole thing is just trying to make good decisions, good business decisions, and, you know, trying to plan, and it's hard times. It's harder to be a band now than it was 10 years ago, you know, just the economy's down everywhere, show attendance is down, record sales are gone, you know, pretty much. So it's interesting. It's interesting to stay afloat, you know. I hadn't been able to predict what's going to happen at any point through this 10-year thing, and I'm not going to say I'm going to be able to now, you know, just try to do the best we can and make the best music we can. And I mean, we'll still have a blast, you know, just seeing the excitement for the record, you know, and especially at the 10-year anniversary point, you know. And the last record did well. It did what we wanted it to do, Deflorate, that is, but it just didn't seem like the same excitement level was there that it was there for the previous record, Nocturnal, with the fans. So we had that on our mind too, you know. So we were like, what are we going to do that's going to, you know, bring it back to a boil, you know. And
what do you think the reason was for that then?
I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know what it was, man. You know, I like the record. I look back at it, you know, very fondly. You know, we still play a ton of songs from it, and we have songs that are requested from it all the time too. But I think maybe it just that it wasn't as macabre, I guess. Wasn't as horror focused as some of the stuff we've done. And I mean, Ritual was like a full blown, just trying to make the most fucked up record we could make, pretty much. I mean, that's what we set out to do as 18-year-olds when we were starting the band. And I think the most successful songs, the ones that resonate the most, are the ones that have the kind of the lyrics and themes that you know, are just tried and true classic death metal stuff, you know. And we realized that I think, you know, we've been a gateway band for a lot of young kids to hopefully check out more extreme stuff, you know. And like, to me, that's an important role, you know. Like I take pride in that. So always trying to tell kids about bands, and you know what I mean, and just like try to expose them to what I consider to be, you know, real metal, real death metal. You know, there's a lot of it that's flying under the radar as usual, you know, but and a lot of like what's going on in popular metal right now doesn't really appeal to me and very much, you know, like all these Meshuggah wannabe bands. You know, I love Meshuggah and everything, but there's only one, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't know, just like the whole deathcore thing and overproducing the fuck out of your albums and having ridiculously fake sounding drums and you know what I mean. It's like all trends, and it's just, you know, we're just kind of trying to buck those, I guess, in a way with this record, and just have it be, you know, we kept the instrument sounds real and just kept it classic sounding, you know, something that would hopefully be timeless instead of a victim of the times, rather,
you know. Transfer to live as well.
Right, yeah, and we've always been conscious about that. You know, we never track too much stuff, like more than we can play, you know. And a lot of bands, especially melodic death metal bands, you know, this get running away. In Flames, man, they put down 4 guitars per side on those old records, man. So there's just harmonies all over the place, and you know, we just keep it real, you know. So when we come live, we can play it exactly as we played it, you know. And then incorporating the samples and the different kinds of instruments, different textures and stuff with this record was a new challenge and something we wanted to do that would make things more interesting, you know, more appealing to the listener. So acoustic guitars, you know, creepy pianos, and then we figured out how to do it live too, you know, to bring it into a live setting as well. So it was something we had to, you know, kind of sync at the same time. You know, if we're going to do this, man, we got to be able to do it live. You know, how are we going to do that? You know, so now we have, like, the songs with the strings and, you know, samples and shit. It's cool, man. It was a jump into the future a little bit for us, you know, and it's been exciting, man. So right now it's just playing our asses off on this album, and a lot of great stuff has been coming our way since this record's come out. Some upgrades as far as like booking agents and who we're able to tour with. Being able to assemble a lineup like us, Nile, Skeleton Witch, and Our Penance for the States. That's going to be a big one. And so just good tidings right now. It's exciting. Just try to think about the future, but also not take anything for granted, because I see how fast it can disappear, and I see how fickle people are, especially in the internet age of music, where you don't have to go out and buy the album and have this physical copy that you're like, wow, look at the cover art. I'm going to read all the lyrics and read the thank yous, and I spent my hard-earned money on this. I'm going to invest myself in this and check it out. Instead, they can download 100 albums literally in a day, and go, cool, it sucks, cool, sucks, whatever. It's all disposable. Yeah. None of it has lyrics, to them. It doesn't, or anything like that. It's like not part of the program anymore. So I don't know. It's a weird time to exist, definitely.
And you've got the Bloodstock Festival coming up in August over here.
Yeah, that's
cool. Is that the first time you'll be doing that one?
Yeah. And Skeleton Witch, we're touring with them right now. They were telling us about how awesome it was, and the magnitude of it is awesome. It's comparable to a lot of like the mainland big kind of metal fest things. So we're definitely looking forward to it. And we'll be playing alongside some bands that are more underground. So that's cool in our regard. Just like trying to get ourselves out there to those leather-clad, long-haired types,
Well, you've been accepted. If you're on the Bloodstock bill, you've been accepted by them, mate. That's
right.
That's what it's the only true. They build themselves as their only true metal festival in the UK.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So we're gonna go there and do our thing, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to seeing how we're gonna go over, and it should be a riot. And
do you think you get the best reception in the UK, or do you get a better reception in other countries?
I don't know, man. It's pretty damn good here. It was one of the first places to really go crazy for the band, and I think in a lot of ways the UK you have your ear to the ground for new sounds and new bands and emerging stuff like that, So, it was really exciting to come over here in the early days, and it's still awesome. The shows are great. We're happy to have people still coming out, and we're doing a very thorough tour of the UK right now, and still, people are coming out in spite of like how close the shows are together, So it's cool, man. It's great. So I don't know, man. We're not pleased unless people are going buck wild anywhere we go. You know what I mean? So as long as people are flying everywhere and sweat is pouring, and I don't know, if people are just having a good time, I'm happy. I want to see people reacting beyond how they react at a show, but to kind of even forget the norms of going to shows all the time, you know what I mean, and hopefully bust them out of that, because, going to shows all the time has its own kind of repetition, and you know what I mean, like that. So hopefully, we can scare the pants off these motherfuckers, man.
And finally, have you got a message that you'd like to give to people watching out there?
Hey, man, thanks for sticking by us. We're going to keep coming until, I don't know, until we're on life support, so. Thanks for the support. It means the world to us, and we'll see you soon. See you at Bloodstock, too.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
May God have mercy on your soul.